Thank you for joining our webinar today. Over the next 40 minutes, we're going to explore and discuss ideas on how we can empower multilingual learners through technology. We'd love to hear your questions, so please make use of the Q&A function at the top of the screen. We'll definitely have time at the end to answer as many as we can, but don't worry, we will answer you directly if we run out of time. So to introduce ourselves first, I'm Jenny and I head up education here at FlashAcademy.
Hello everyone, I'm Lily, Head of English as an Additional Language at GEMS First Point in Dubai, and it's an absolute pleasure to be sharing with you some initiatives around supporting our multilingual students.
So let's begin. So Lily, why is it so important to recognise a student's first language as an asset, and what impact can that have on the student?
That's a great question, Jenny, and it's one that really gets to the heart of how we approach language learning. And recognizing a student's first language as an asset is crucial, not just for their language development, but also for their overall academic success. So let's think about this through a scenario. Imagine you're 10 years old, you speak English fluently, solve problems in English, love your science lessons, share experiences with friends, and then suddenly your family decides to move to a new country and you're expected to speak, read, write fluently in a completely different language. So that experience can be nerve-wracking, and it's something that many multilingual students face. And when we talk about multilingualism and adopting an asset-based approach, we build on students' first language knowledge understanding and their background knowledge. So this concept has three key components. The first one is pedagogical. By supporting existing knowledge, students retain information longer, and they may already understand specific concept in science, for example. They just need the tools and they just need the right vocabulary to access that subject. The second key concept is translanguaging, which is using multiple languages fluidly. And research has shown that languages are not stored separately in multilingual brains. So when we leave those artificial boundaries like English-only policies or, challenging monolingual policies, we create environments for our students where they can transfer skills across languages, improving their overall learning. And the third concept, which is probably crucial, understanding the cognitive aspects of it. Yeah. So when neuroscience shows that multilingual brains develop stronger neural connections, improving cognitive flexibility and problem-solving abilities, brains can also work better and they can do more things and do them more effectively when they can build meaningful connections. And first language is the most powerful tool to build those connections because all that background knowledge comes from understanding our first languages. And this is all supported by the brain's ability to adapt and strengthen through neuroplasticity.
That makes loads of sense, actually. So what ways have you achieved this at GEMS First Point?
So we've tried to come up with some practical solutions to apply these theoretical concepts into practice, as it's not always easy to talk about theory in practice. And there's one key thing that I hope most of our international colleagues will agree with. So it's a whole school strategy. The foundation of our approach is a shared belief that every teacher is a language teacher. And this is something that we value and share with FlashAcademy. So we ensure that all staff, not just subject teachers, are involved in supporting language acquisition. From the moment our students enter the school, everyone from admin staff to teachers contributes to helping them overcome language barriers. And when we talk about those barriers, it could be, simple interactions in the morning. And they're so powerful when we talk about those everyday practices. The second step is our admissions process. So we start by gathering detailed information about our students during admissions, including their first language proficiency. So this allows us to identify their strengths and also set meaningful language-focused targets for each student right from the start. So this process is supported by an assessment tool that FlashAcademy offers. This is a great tool that suggests an overview of strengths and things that our students can work further to improve their language proficiency. Based on that knowledge, we then create personalized language passports for each English language learner. And this asset-based document contains lots of details. First of all, strategies, and these strategies are quite specific, but it's a very small number, 5 to 7 strategies. But what's really powerful about them is sharing those strategies consistently. So, for example, for students like Lily, I will experience consistent support in maths, science, and beyond when my teachers adapt those lessons and provide those scaffolds for me. The next thing that we consider is careful groupings. So we spend time thoughtfully grouping new students, often considering their first language. And we also understand that it's not a limiting factor, because we know that all those meaningful learning happens through interactions, and it doesn't have to be in their first language only. So this is a really powerful part. And I think as that meaningful tool, we utilize welcome packs. And these resources offered by FlashAcademy help students develop not only their vocabulary, but also their transferable skills. So, for example, these packs help students navigate through the curriculum, understand the systems. Again, imagine this is a new school, new systems, new expectations, new rules. So all that information is really helpful when we talk about transition. And they also support developing writing schema, which is, again, an essential component of first language understanding. And then students can confidently use their first language to build up on their additional languages. And lastly, but again, not least, celebrating diversity through various whole school events. So we celebrate International Mother Tongue Day, International Day. Recently, we've introduced a new initiative called Language of the Week. So yeah, that's lots of fun.
Could you talk us through that, actually? And has FlashAcademy helped with it?
Oh, absolutely. It began in April during Multilingual Language Learner Advocacy Month so we had that simple idea of recognizing the diversity of languages spoken at GEM's first point, and each class would choose a language, either the most widely spoken or a language spoken by a new student, and then selected students or a group of students would then teach a few greetings in that language. So these greetings are then used every morning to greet everyone in that class. So what started as a way to boost well-being has evolved into a much, larger thing. It was almost an awareness campaign, and it's been incredible to walk through the primary corridors and hear students confidently exchanging greetings in different languages, and also seeing that pride and how they, students love taking on those leadership roles. So it was amazing. And by the way, let me share an example. Let me share the story of Zicheng, one of our students who joined us last year. And when he first arrived, he was quite timid, nervous about making friends, and he was quite unsure about the new experiences ahead. And it was clear for us that he needed support to feel comfortable in this new environment. We were able to start his journey with a proficiency assessment that gave us an overview of his strengths, and equally suggested, next steps, how we can support Zicheng in improving his vocabulary, grammar, and all the areas of that language support. So Zicheng started using FlashAcademy along with the targeted strategies for his teachers and, intervention classes to practice vocabulary, to practice grammar. And over time, we saw his confidence grow. So this was, I think, he became more comfortable engaging with his classmates. He started forming friendships, which had a positive impact, not only his language learning, but also on his overall well-being and social skills. So please meet Zicheng.
Hello everyone, my name is Zicheng. I'm 10 years old and I'm on Gen First Point School 5D class. I very like to learn English, and I like to play with my friends so it can pick up my English. I like to read English book. I also like to use the FlashAcademy. Wow.
Oh, that's wonderful, Lily. I love that. That's wonderful to see. Why is it so important then to incorporate technology, and what role does it play in supporting multilingual learners?
We believe incorporating technology into education, especially when we talk about supporting multilingual learners, is really important for breaking down those barriers. And we have so many unnecessary boundaries at time. So this provides access, so they can easily access all these learning opportunities around them. So first of all, we can share immediate feedback and have those assessment tools. So technology definitely helps us assess students' language proficiency quickly and effectively. For example, tools like an assessment tool on FlashAcademy provides a great overview of students' language level. So it includes their reading, listening, speaking and writing comprehension report that then turns into that, turns into that immediate support and timely interventions, ensuring that students receive the help they need right from the start. So teachers can then tailor instructions based on real-time data, making their support more targeted and effective. And another great side that we really like about these assessments is the AI-supported marking. So it really helps teachers to review those assessments in the most efficient way. The second part of it is probably personalized learning pathways. When we talk about technology, we can definitely say that it allows to create individualized learning experiences, and each student can work at their own pace using resources tailored to their needs. And we know that for multilingual students, this is so important. So time plays a crucial role in this. And developing these skills in their first language, or building on their first language while developing their skills in an additional language, helps to personalize and fosters engagement and helps students feel more supported in their learning journey, which definitely helps our students build vocabulary quicker. And once they build the vocabulary they need, they become more confident, they start interacting with their friends, their speaking confidence definitely improves, and they feel more included, which is amazing.
So how can technology support traditional teaching methods then?
Technology can complement and enhance traditional teaching methods in several impactful ways. And I think it's also important to know that, while in-person teaching remains foundational, integrating technology into the classroom can offer engaging and interactive ways to reinforce and expand on what's being taught. So, for example, we can talk about engaging and improving interactive opportunities. Technology definitely transforms traditional learning by making it more interactive. For example, gamified vocabulary practice through flashcards, incorporating different multimedia activities, offering students a chance to interact with language through different formats. They experience, that they listen to an audio, they then see a visual, and then read the text. So using all these skills, again, building those links is essential. And this integrated skills approach reinforces their understanding in a way that traditional methods may not always achieve at that specific time in a very, short period. So for multilingual learners, this variety of tools can be definitely beneficial, helping them engage with content. We also love a tool that FlashAcademy offers. It's called Object Translator. So it's a really unique tool that supports this integration. This feature allows students to take photos of everyday objects and instantly learn the vocabulary around them. So, for example, they take a picture of a table and there's some objects, and you get an immediate translation. And it's a fun and visual way of making meaning and making language learning more practical, and making meanings of everything surrounding us. And I think the next part is promoting independent learning, because yes, we know that there are some things that we need to improve in English as students, but then how do I improve them, and what are the next steps I need to take? So thinking metacognitively, thinking about our learning, traditional classroom teaching often focuses on guided learning, but technology opens the door for independent exploration. So all the topics that students link and all those cross-curricular opportunities on FlashAcademy are really powerful, because students know that they can pre-learn some words before their lesson, prior to the lesson, or they can review a set of keywords following that lesson, you know, whether it's math, science, and also for EAL intervention specialists, it's quite tricky to teach that vocabulary. But when we have all those available resources, it just makes learning so much more interactive and engaging. And another point is about supporting families. Technology can also bridge that gap between school and home. And at GEM's first point, we believe communication is key. And, you know, the more we interact with families, the more we learn about our students and better we can support them. So, for example, and this is going to be probably something interesting for our international colleagues, we have rain days in Dubai. Schools are advised to close for obviously safety reasons, and this can interrupt learning, unfortunately. But for example, last year, having FlashAcademy, students were able to continue learning from home, practicing vocabulary, preparing for upcoming lessons. And we're talking about blended learning. So they still had a chance to meet their teachers online, to talk about those topics, to ask these questions. But then when it comes to that personalized approach, one-to-one work and working on those specific language targets, FlashAcademy lessons were incredible, and parents were really happy to have that support. So we've also incorporated different technology-driven strategies to support our students. So one of them is pre-teaching with technology, and this is something that we work on with our class teaching assistants. Again, a really powerful tool. And all these resources are ready for you to support, and utilizing those flashcards and key concepts before students enter a lesson. It's a great way. Students come to class prepared, which again increases their confidence and participation. So by combining technology with the hands-off support of teaching assistants, for example, we've created a more dynamic learning environment, and this approach definitely allowed us to, you know, tailor our instruction and adapt it to the needs of our multilingual students. And I'd like to share another example. So please meet Ivan. Ivan joined us last year, and at first he was quite nervous about meeting other students. He tended to play on his own, often with dinosaurs or dragons, and was hesitant to speak to his peers. However, once he began using FlashAcademy and specifically the speech tool, we noticed a remarkable change. So it was a very safe and comfortable environment for him, where he could practice some words and get that immediate feedback. And we've seen how this kind of practice supported him in, you know, we've seen his confidence grow. We've seen those initial barriers being removed. You know, effective filters were, they started just, you know, fading away. So, and as he realized how quickly he was learning English, he became more engaged in class, and now he's one of the supporters, you know, our buddies to introduce new students to FPS. So please meet Ivan.
Brush.
Brush. Crab.
Crab.
Crab. Frog.
Frog.
Oh, that's so lovely. He certainly doesn't seem quiet anymore, Lily.
You worked really hard to practice his pronunciation, and again, like having friends is probably the most powerful thing to see.
It is, absolutely. So let's move on to promoting inclusion then. Could you talk a little bit more of the importance of inclusion in a language learning environment?
Absolutely. Inclusion in language learning environments is absolutely crucial because we know that's our identity. That's the way we represent ourselves. It's our voice, right? Especially when our ultimate goal is to create classrooms where every student, regardless of their language background, feels supported and empowered. To achieve this, it was important to view again, coming back to every teacher is a language teacher concept. So it was really important for us to have that shared understanding. And we also believe that inclusion doesn't just happen in English or, EAL lessons. It needs to be embedded across all subjects. And when we talk about, key leadership teams, we talk about strategically ensuring that these policies are implemented across the school. So to foster inclusion, we identified each student's next steps in their language learning. And so this means that we share that understanding where they are and what they need to do to stretch towards their next goals. And I think the most important tool was not really a tool, probably a framework that we refer to is the zone of proximal development. So by understanding each student's ZPD, we can then tailor our teaching to ensure that the work is challenging, but at the same time achievable, helping them progress step by step. Because a lot of times students will be asking, why am I working on a different worksheet? Was there a different work set for me? But it's crucial for us that we adapt strategies and we adapt learning for them. It's not working on a different task. It's about how do I build up to achieve the most challenging work I can do, and helping them progress again, step by step. This definitely helps create a consistent supportive learning environment where they can see their progress and at the same time feel motivated to keep moving.
That sounds excellent, actually. What strategies do you use to promote inclusion then?
So I think we started with something probably very obvious, celebrating achievements, and it's really important for us because all achievements are big, and celebrating the linguistic and academic achievements of our students is key. And we don't limit these achievements to EAL classes only. So we're trying to celebrate these achievements, in every aspect of their school life. We acknowledge their journey. We acknowledge their academic journey, talking about successes, the things like building confidence and a sense of accomplishment. And students could be, this could be done through certificates, praise in class, an achievement system, whole school achievement system, but sharing these success stories, both with parents and the leadership team, was one of the most powerful things. Because a lot of time, I think these days, we talk about data, numbers, but it's really important to remember those individual success stories and that soft data we can share, especially being advocates for our multilingual students. And also, we can probably mention learning environments. We focus on building a welcoming and culturally responsive classroom. For example, we have about 96 nationalities represented at FPS, and culturally relevant materials and classroom discussions are really important to embrace students' diverse backgrounds, and again, to help them feel valued, to help them achieve the best they can. So we encourage students to research through their first language if it's needed. When students see their language and cultures reflected in the classroom, it's a really powerful tool. So there is something that FlashAcademy definitely supported us with is first language profiles, is a really powerful document where it outlines specifics of a particular language, things that teachers need to look out for when we talk about, transferable skills or mistakes that students potentially can make. So knowing that information definitely then supports a class teacher to adapt their resources better. But those documents were really helpful for everyone, honestly. So including our students, then they researched, did their research about different languages, then they shared that information. So it was a really nice thing. Also, I think inclusion comes to parental engagement. So inclusion extends beyond the classroom. And we definitely actively engage with our parents, with the community by providing and sharing resources in multiple languages. And again, FlashAcademy shared lots of letters translated to the different home languages, and parents really appreciate that support. Even setting up devices or the app or going through the topics in a language that family feels confident with, so they can then support their children at home. And involving families only strengthens that homeschool I'd say connection and support students' academic and social development. So it's really important to consider both sides. And I think when we talk about school, it's also important to mention different, CPD opportunities. So collaborative planning is key for us because we are supporting students holistically. I encourage you to definitely, engage with your CPD leaders. They're happy to give you more time for, PD sessions if you request for more dedicated time for collaboration and language and literacy integration. So, and that not only then supports students' academic achievement, but also understanding multilingual students better, so which then links to our celebrating achievement parts, because everybody in school, teachers, teaching assistant, admin, the leadership team will be talking about that assets-based approach. This just takes us back to the whole school strategy, which is vital, and it definitely includes students, parents, all teachers, and definitely the wider administration. And I think sometimes we need to ask those important questions. Are your leadership teams aware of those specific needs in multilingual learners? Are parents actively involved in tracking their child's progress? And engaging all key stakeholders definitely supports our students. And it's to support their learning, it's to feel them included, to feel them valued. And by combining these strategies, creating welcoming environments, using technology to scaffold through ZPD, provide that challenge, we definitely remove those barriers and support all students regardless of their language background. And I'll share another example, and that's our recent star, Floor. She has recently moved to stage C, and it was a really proud moment for her. So she was there, on stage with her friends, and she felt the joy of her achievement, not only because she had learned to speak a new language, but also because she had formed new friendships. Having that opportunity to talk about things you like, to talk about the depth of knowledge you bring from your, from your experience, is an amazing way of celebrating those things. So yes, what's even more remarkable is the progress she's made. So in just 6 months, her reading age advanced by an impressive 16 months. So this was an amazing achievement that we'd like to share with you.
Hi, I am Flor, and I know Flash because you can play games and you can learn English. It's actually just really fun to do, and you have fun tasks. You can learn English and you still have like a game to do. That's why I like the games. I like to learn English, so I also can learn new languages. Not only Dutch, but now also English. And if you don't know English at all, or a bit of English, and you really wanted to download it, if you want, you can download it, and it's called FlashAcademy.
Floor is our FlashAcademy ambassador, and she helps students like Lev, for example, in year 2. So she's there to support everyone. Such a lovely girl, honestly. Yes, and that completes our webinar. We hope you found it really useful. Thank you all for joining us.
I really do hope you've enjoyed our webinar. We've thoroughly enjoyed practicing it and presenting it. So we hope you've got a lot from it. As Rosie mentioned at the start, we will be issuing certificates of attendance, so you can use this for your CPD numbers. Thank you for that. But yeah, and obviously get in touch if you have any more questions at all. I'm Jenny at FlashAcademy.com. I offer free demos and free trials if you are interested in Flash Academy, and also Lily's always available and super helpful. So thank you again for your time, much appreciated.